coach Stephanie White said today that Clark has been doing limited work with the team in practice, but is not yet participating in all the drills. You see her practicing here from today. She added that the team has plans for Clark, but they aren't going to be taking any chances with their superstar.
The WNBA was buzzing, but the tremors of excitement were mixed with an undeniable undercurrent of unease. Caitlin Clark, the prodigious talent lighting up the Indiana Fever and the league itself, was unexpectedly sidelined.
I know Caitlin was supposed to be reevaluated this weekend. Was she cleared to return to basketball activities?
I don't know if cleared is the right word. I mean, we're ready to start ramping back up and make sure, it's completely different when you're just doing one-on-one workouts and when you're out there in 5-on-5, getting up and down the floor, moving laterally. So she's been allowed to do some practicing, not everything. And we're gonna be smart and we're gonna be cautious and we're gonna play the long game and work her back in very intentionally.
The official narrative spun a tale of caution, of managing an injury to ensure long-term health for their prized rookie. It was a plausible story, one often told in the demanding world of professional sports.
That we were talking about earlier today.
And it doesn't take a lot of genius to lip read Britney Griner, whose voice, by the way, is about as low as mine is, calling her trash and an effing white girl. Now, of course, if Caitlin Clark had ever suggested the same in reverse, using black as opposed to white in that sentence, that'd be the end of her WNBA career. But Britney Griner is going strong. It's totally...
Yet, behind the carefully worded press releases, a different story was beginning to unfurl, whispered in locker rooms, and speculated upon in fan forums. This wasn't just about physical recovery. It felt like a statement was being made, a silent but potent protest.
Caitlin Clark has been picked on and abused ever since she entered the league in 2024, and now Britney Griner is joining in on the action, saying that she is an effing white trash white girl because after she fouled out, she decided to take her anger and frustration.
The target of this unspoken dissent appeared to be the WNBA's own leadership, under fire for a deafening silence concerning a recent, highly controversial incident involving another prominent player. Clark's absence, many suspected, was a direct challenge to this inaction.
It's been over 2 weeks since Griner said this. Instead, the WNBA was investigating a bogus race hoax made up by Angel Reese about Indiana Fever fans. And I say bogus because they found no evidence that supports Angel Reese's claim.
The flashpoint occurred on an otherwise typical game night, May 23rd, 2025. The Indiana Fever had battled hard, securing a narrow win against the Atlanta Dream, but the real drama was yet to erupt, far from the final buzzer.
Look, I don't know for sure what was going on with what cameras caught Britney Griner saying on the bench after she had fouled out against Caitlin Clark's Fever in Atlanta. I waited to comment on this until the WNBA was able to investigate it. I wanted them to issue a statement about it, but we have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing. And Britney Griner has not commented, which I find significant.
Atlanta's center, Britney Griner, a dominant force in the league, had fouled out of the contest, her frustration visibly mounting as she made her way to the bench. It was a moment of high emotion, captured intimately by the ever-watchful broadcast cameras.
On the WNBA's website, it said that Caitlin Clark and Sophie were both game time decisions for tomorrow's game. Stephanie White shut that down pretty immediately. She was like, no, they need to ramp up. We're playing the long game. Yes, they did things here and there, but we don't want to aggravate things and make them any worse. She talked about Sophie Cunningham's ankle, and she said that this is an injury that she has aggravated a couple of times, so they're not going to push it. And the same thing with Caitlin. She's like, we want to see them ramp up. There is a difference between obviously practicing and then being in those game time situations. So it seems like her mindset and the training staff's mindset is we are thinking of the long term when it comes to these two players. So we definitely will not see.
As the lens zoomed in, something more than athletic exasperation was caught. Lip readers and keen-eyed social media users quickly went to work, and what they alleged was explosive. Griner appearing to direct a vicious tirade at Caitlin Clark.
They played pretty good in the first half. It was a tie game. It was 33-33. But they just fell apart in the third quarter because they're missing something. You know what they're missing? Do you know what they're missing? I'll tell you who they're missing. This is who they're missing. They're missing her bad. and it shows, okay?
The reported words were shocking. Trash, followed by an even more inflammatory and racially charged insult, the now infamous effing white girl. The digital wildfire was instantaneous, the clip spreading virally, igniting widespread fury and disbelief among fans.
How are we gonna sell tickets if Caitlyn's out for 2 weeks? Can she just play on crutches? I'd rather watch that than Britney Griner. I know Caitlyn's injured, but at least we have other stars in the league who people like to watch. Like, fuck.
Yet, as the days turned into weeks, the WNBA's response to this alarming incident was conspicuous by its absence. No public statement was issued, no investigation was announced, no disciplinary measures were hinted at, despite the clear video evidence fanning the flames of public outcry.
Caitlin Clark's injury is tanking WNBA ticket prices. The star Indiana Fever guard suffered a quad injury and is expected to miss at least 2 weeks. This comes on the heels of the WNBA and other teams moving games into larger arenas to accommodate Caitlyn's fans. And as sports fans, I think we all know that Caitlin Clark is the most popular women's basketball player. In fact, she might be one of the most popular female athletes in the entire world. Ever since she burst into the national consciousness, women's basketball has experienced a rise in popularity.
This silence was made all the more glaring when contrasted with the league's recent, very public handling of another sensitive matter. Only weeks before, a comprehensive investigation was launched into claims that Indiana Fever fans had directed offensive chants towards Angel Reese of the Chicago Sky.
Come, no one wants to watch a game now. Angel Reese said the WNBA was popular because of her. Why are the views dropping? She said she was popular. How can we get people to watch? I don't even watch. To make the game more popular, we're gonna let fans bet on Angel Reese missed layups per game. Right now, the over-under is at 25.
That inquiry, which lasted nearly 2 weeks and was conducted with apparent seriousness, concluded with the league stating they found no evidence to substantiate the allegations. The transparency in that instance was commendable.
The WNBA is the most poorly ran organization in America, straight up. Without the NBA giving their yearly donation, this league would have folded years ago. And that's the part that bothers me about the organization, the owners, the players. This inflated ego, thinking, oh, we built this. You didn't build nothing. You're just getting by the NBA charity check. And with this mentality, they have these inflated egos and they're stuck in their ways. They think their way is the right way. This is going to be successful, and it failed for decades. Finally, a player that's worth paying the money for. Caitlin Clark comes along. What do, WNBA? You beat her up. You treat her like crap.
But when it came to the Griner-Clark incident, a situation with direct video evidence involving 2 major players, the league's approach seemed vastly different. This disparity fueled accusations of a troubling double standard, suggesting that accountability within the WNBA might be selectively applied.
Who is going to give Caitlin Clark their quad? Because if I go one more week without her playing, I will genuinely lose it. I will lose it. So someone, I guess I'll do it. I'll take one for the team. Cece, if you're watching this, you can have my quad. You can have my ACL. You can have the whole,
my leg.
You can have my wife's leg, okay? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And I'm glad, like, she's on the sideline. She's cheering. She's at the Pacers game on the floor. Cool. Live your life, Cece. I'm ready to see you back on the court. It's time to get back to the courts.
It was in this tense atmosphere of perceived injustice that Caitlin Clark made her unexpected move. Reports began to surface that despite being medically cleared, or very near to it, she informed the Fever coaching staff she would not play in the upcoming rematch against Atlanta. Coach Stephanie White, when questioned by the media, maintained the official team line, emphasizing caution and a long-term approach to Clark's recovery. "We're going to be smart," she stated, and work her back in very intentionally. However, sources close to the situation painted a more defiant picture. Clark, known for her relentless competitive spirit and remarkable durability throughout her career, wasn't just being careful. Her decision, it was widely believed, was a principled stand, a rookie leveraging her immense platform to demand fairness. The immediate impact of Clark's absence was devastating for the Indiana Fever. Facing the Atlanta Dream, a team perhaps ironically energized by the controversy surrounding their own center, the Fever seemed utterly lost without their star. The final score was a stark illustration of Clark's value. Atlanta Dream 77, Indiana Fever 58. It was a brutal 19-point loss, marking the Fever's lowest offensive output since 2017 and their worst performance by far with Clark on the roster. To compound the frustration for Fever fans and Clark supporters, Britney Griner not only played, but excelled. She was a key contributor to Atlanta's commanding victory, thriving on the court while the player she allegedly targeted was sidelined, possibly in protest of her very actions. Caitlin Clark's arrival in the WNBA had been nothing short of revolutionary. Her electrifying play and magnetic personality had catapulted the league into a new stratosphere of popularity, with viewership numbers and ticket sales soaring to unprecedented heights. Television networks celebrated the Clark effect as games featuring the rookie sensation regularly drew audiences exponentially larger than other matchups. Her presence was a financial boon, transforming the league's economic landscape almost overnight. Thus, Clark's decision to sit out, regardless of the officially stated reason, carried immense weight. It was a stark reminder to the WNBA that its newfound mainstream relevance and financial upswing were inextricably linked to its biggest star, and her satisfaction with the league's integrity mattered profoundly. The alleged verbal assault by Griner was not viewed by some as an isolated incident. Scrutiny intensified on past encounters between the two players, with analysts and fans pointing to a pattern of what they deemed overly aggressive play by Griner directed at Clark. Video footage from previous games appeared to show Griner initiating unusually hard screens and a higher degree of physical contact against the much lighter Clark, despite their differing positions and roles on the court, raising questions about intent. Statistical observers even noted that Griner's foul rate seemed to be significantly higher in games where she faced Clark, fueling speculation that there might be a deliberate effort to intimidate or physically dominate the league's brightest new talent. When this perceived pattern of on-court aggression was combined with the alleged verbal tirade, it painted a disturbing picture of sustained hostility. The league's failure to address either the specific incident or the potential pattern only deepened concerns about player safety and fair play. The WNBA now stands at a critical juncture. The convergence of a star player's potent silent protest, serious allegations of misconduct against another prominent player, and the league's questionable handling of the situation has created an undeniable crisis. Pressure is mounting from every conceivable angle. Outraged fans, vocal media critics, and the implicit power of player influence. The league's carefully cultivated image of sportsmanship and inclusivity is being tested like never before, and its very credibility hangs precariously in the balance. The coming days and weeks will reveal the WNBA's true character. Will it embrace transparency, conduct a thorough and impartial investigation, and uphold its stated values with consistent action? Or will it choose a path that risks alienating its most valuable assets and eroding the trust of its rapidly growing audience? The choice it makes will resonate far beyond a single season.